Good morning, everyone. Tom Hanks and Halle Berry have left their mark on Hollywood over the years, but neither can claim they have ever been part of a film as ambitious as Cloud Atlas.
Oh, yes. They portray 6 characters across generations, continents, and planets. Hollywood insider Gino sat down with both of them to talk about the effort it took to bring David Mitchell's epic best-selling novel to the big screen.
I have an analogy on this movie, okay? Remember those pieces of art that weren't really art? It was a picture you would stare at, and then all of a sudden, you would see the 3D image, and it would all crystallize and become clear.
That's kind of good.
Analogy?
Much like when we were reading the screenplay, and then sort of like when we saw the movie, for a few pages of the screenplay, you're going, what, huh? And then a little light goes off, and you start putting it together, and then the last 100 pages, the last hour of the movie, you're just on the edge of your seat.
Fear, belief, love, phenomena that determine the course of our lives. These forces begin long before we are born and continue after we perish.
In playing so many characters, are there ones that you kind of feel sad when, okay, boy, I wish I could have explored that a little further?
Every one of these characters I would have loved to explore further.
But there was a couple where it was like, we literally were worked for one day. We did all this work. I mean, we started work on this movie in September, and you'd go through 3 days of a hair and makeup test for one character, then you'd play it for one day in November, and then that would be it.
I can't explain it, but I knew when I opened that door,
a powerful deja vu ran through my bones.
I have a theory. I believe that Tom did this movie because of the scene of throwing a critic over a balcony.
I think you might be right.
Oh, that smile is not dissuading me from believing that.
Not bad. Oh, it's not bad.
Anyone in mind, Tom?
No, not at all. No,
I love the fact you have 3 directors who really get this material and know how to do it correctly. How did they work differently?
I mean, they were different, but I think it's more about how did they work together in kind of the same way, because if they weren't sort of united and had one clear vision, it could have been a nightmare for us types, you know, for actors, if they weren't so, you know, coherent and they weren't so together.
I was surprised that we would talk about what we were about to shoot for about an hour, sometimes 2 hours, so that we'd all be on the exact same page, and then we would finally get around to shooting it, which is a lot of time. If Tom had said, you're going to stand here, you're going to say like this, then we're going to move on, we would have done that too, but they were very kind and gentle and inviting of us into the process.
Well, Cloud Atlas is rated R and in theaters right now.
Yeah, and be prepared. This one runs 2 hours and 45 minutes, so get a lot of popcorn. Gino appears on Real Milwaukee every Thursday, right after Fox 6 Wake Up. All right, let's toss over to the weather.